So right, we need to use parentheses so that instead of casting math random to int, we should be first multiplying to produce a floating point number, and only then, once the multiplication is finished, cast it to an integer. All right, absolutely, absolutely. That makes a huge difference. So when we run it now, so now we get some stats. So let's take a look at our stats, and let's just do it once, right? And maybe increase the series to 1,000 just to see what kind of stats we get. So we run this. You can see that somewhere in the middle, we're getting the highest number of hits, and it kind of slows down and goes to smaller numbers gradually towards the combination of the 2 and towards the combination of 12, right? So the statistics, the distribution is that we get the highest hits somewhere in the middle, right here, right? 163 and 153 roughly attributed to actually 7 obviously gets the highest number. Let's see how consistent this is. If we run it again, again the 7 is really the one that statistically is the most probable, simply because of all of the combinations, there is the highest possibility of getting 7 based on this roll of 2 6-sided dice. Okay, so this is good. Once again, once I'm kind of no longer debugging, I would like to typically get rid of breakpoints. I don't want to have too many breakpoints hanging in my code, because it's something that I really no longer need. So I would like to keep my environment as clean as possible, and the code likewise. All right, so we're getting some results here, and we're apparently maybe half or 1/3 through this assignment. We still have a few minutes to talk about other things. So I'm going to close assignment 6 and going back to assignment 7. In the assignment 7, it continues to roll series dice pair. Okay. Combinations. So I call this array combinations in my code. So I called it stats, but in the homework assignment, those things are called combinations. Now, this assignment also apparently wants us to use essentially use the roll series array as the dice pair type of array. So it wants to use the series. Let me see. What I was able to do in my project, I was able to say, let me have one dice pair and execute the roll on the same dice pair this number of times, the series length. On the other hand, what this homework proposes, it's kind of interesting that I will now add another class to my application, and we'll say new Java class, and I'll name it, I'm sorry, let me just make sure that I add it to the same package so that I don't have to rename anything. So new Java class, dice roller 2, for the sake of better name, dice roller 2. So in the dice roller 2, I will try to be more careful and try to follow what this homework assignment wants us to do. The homework assignment says that in your public class dice roller, why don't you create an array of objects named roll series? Right? So I can copy this. I can copy this into my project and say, all right, this can be a uh, private array of dice pairs. Interesting. I never thought about this possibility when I was, writing my own, trial of this code. But then, obviously, if I display uh, the first version of this and the second version side by side, let me do the constructor, right? So actually, let me kind of steal this constructor from here, but then again, I need to remember to rename it dice roller 2. So the pair is gone. Instead, I have this roll series, right? I have this roll series, and it gets created as a dice pair array, apparently, right? Dice pair, and then the roll count. Okay. So one more time. This should be a member of your class. Roll series, dice pair. Okay. Apparently, what this proposes is actually a kind of simpler approach. Instead of creating this roll series here, I can do this. Say dice pair equals new dice pair. Then ask pair what is the maximum, and create the stats array, an integer stats array. Okay, done that. So now I have the stats array of integers, and I created a temporary pair to just say what is the maximum number is, and ask pair for the maximum sum. I need this sum to create my array of that particular size. Done that. Then in a roll series, right? If I try my roll series example again, what happens here is that I'm going to say clear stats. That should work as expected. No changes required, right? So my clear stats can be used exactly the same way. And then this is obviously the ending of my dice roller 2. I just want to mark this ending brace. Okay, then I will keep it clean. I will make sure that I fix my import so that my arrays, magically gets imported by doing this right click. Right, so in the roll series, what I'd like to do is that clear stats, but then it's I can say populate uh, a roll series, populate dice, I guess, something strange. Populate dice. How about this? Here I will say private avoid populate dice, and here we'll do what this handout says. Roll series equals new dice pair, and specify the roll count. Okay, so once again, the roll series represents an array of dice pairs in the second version of dice roller class. I just came across looking at the homework about this. And so I need the roll count to create this particular uh, array of dice pairs. But I do have the roll count, which comes from my series length. So this way I populate that. And that's kind of strange um, type of thing, where roll count represents the length of the series. Loop through the roll series array, roll count times, and roll the dice and increment the corresponding element in the combinations array based on the total outcome. By the time you're done with your loop iterations, the combinations array will be populated with the stats that you need. Sure, well, it's sort of like the same thing, but instead of going to um, instead of going through the series, now what I do is that so my dice now are sitting in the array, right? So I have dice pair array, and it's called roll series. So what I can do here is that to roll, I need to say roll series, and I need to again keep some sort of an index. So I will change this to a for loop, and I will say integer index, or I can do this dice pair, right? Pair in the roll series. For each dice pair in the roll series, pair roll. I guess that's what that particular code proposes. I mean, this particular handout proposes.